Welcome to Colonie TV, the governmental educational channel for the town of Colonie.
All right, well, welcome to Getting to Know You. My name is Joe Nash. Today we're going to be talking about the Troy Turkey Trot, Thanksgiving morning run. We have the race director with us, George Regan, and one of the Troy Turkey Trot Training Challenge certified trainers, Kristen Hislop. So welcome, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we're starting here, we're going to talk about, there's some changes this year, and the training for people that want to sign up, we'll talk about that. But before we start, George, you were telling me before we started, Thanksgiving morning is the day, there's more races that day, or more people run that day than any other day of the year. So
in the country.
In the whole country, yeah. Talk about that a little bit. So.
Well, I mean, it's just a real popular day, and a lot of runners, or a lot of people who think they're runners, or think they're athletic, will go out and try a race on Thanksgiving Day because they have this in their minds that if they run, they can eat more at this Thanksgiving feast that's about to happen that afternoon, which is absolutely not true, but they end up getting injured, and this is why we wanted to start the training challenge.
And then before we get into that, one other thing, the Troy Turkey Trot this year, the 66th annual, it's the 12th oldest race in the country?
Yes, right.
Not just Turkey Trot, the 12th oldest race.
That's right.
Okay, and then George, you directed the race for 13 years. You took a little hiatus, and last year they brought you back, and we had a record last year, over 8,200 runners. Was that due to them bringing you back? Or
I would like to think that. I'm a legend in my own mind.
I know.
But no, it's because that day is a very popular day for running.
Okay.
You get a lot of people who, like I said, won't run all year long, but will run that day. And you know, there's 8, in the Capital District region, there's 8 turkey trots.
I know, there are some, like I think I said this last year, there's been some pretenders, but Troy is still the king. So I just why don't we start there? What is special about the Troy Turkey Trot?
Well, I think it's a themed event. You know, it's on Thanksgiving Day, and it's been running since 1916, so it has a lot of history to it. There's a lot of families come out to it. They enjoy themselves. People who were born and raised and grew up and were educated in Troy and the Capital Region area come back from all over the country. I mean, it's amazing. Last year there were 40 states represented.
Okay.
So all of these people, I mean, they're not coming back they're not flying back just to run the 5K Turkey Trot, because as I said, Thanksgiving Day is one of the busiest days in the country. There's over 5,000 races. They could go out their door and find a race.
Yeah.
They're coming back to be with their family.
Well, as myself, as a native of Troy, it is almost like a reunion day.
It is,
not just for people from Troy, but the whole Capital District.
It's true.
All right, so now the new thing, before we talk about the changes in the race, we have the training challenge. So Kristen, why don't you start us off with this? How did this come about, and what does this involve? It's going to be on Monday nights at Prospect Park and Saturday mornings at Prospect Park. So why don't you start off talking about that a little bit?
Well, 3 years ago, George runs the Freihofers Run as well, and came up with the idea of the Couch to 5K program to get ready for that, but supplementing it with a lot of support, which you can download an app to learn how to run a 5K and follow the program. But people tend to drop off of that because they don't have camaraderie, they can't get their questions answered. You know, things happen, and I'll just drop that. Yeah. So this program for Freihofers was started, and it was a huge success.
I think you said you had 400 women trained for how long? Like
10 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, it's between 10 and 12 weeks. It's just kind of where the calendar falls. And so, you know, the opportunity is, you've mentioned, like George said, turkey trots are incredibly popular around the country. People want to go out. They do it as part of, you know, the family event. So one family member may run, they drag everybody else along to go do it. And what a great opportunity to get the rest of those people trained and ready to go to do it. So the idea is Couch to 5K for people who want to run the 5K and have not run a 5K yet, or maybe have taken some time off and are just getting started back into it. But because we all love running so much and we want to kind of capture as many people as we can, there's also the program to get ready for the 10K. We give people kind of options. If you're already running a 5K and you want to get a little faster, here are the things you can do. So it's really a broad audience that we're catering to.
Now,
with this
as we're
challenge.
filming this, it did start last night, but people can still sign up to October 6th.
Right.
And they can come to Prospect Park in Troy. And what does it cost anything? Was it?
It's $35.
$35.
Yeah,
But,
incredibly reasonable.
but you're not just getting a run-in. Tell us some of the things you're getting. You have some several people there advising and helping you train. Who's
Right. So there are actually Patrick Linsky and I are certified coaches. So we're there to help run the workouts. We have people who volunteer their time and come as mentors who either have been through a training challenge program like this or are avid runners and have a lot of experience running. We have Dr. Tim Maggs, who's the injury prevention specialist. So
people can ask about injuries.
Absolutely. And sometimes it's Dr. Irwin who's there on Saturdays.
Okay.
So somebody comes in and, oh gosh, my shin really hurts today. They can go right over and talk to him, and ask him questions. Christine Cooley comes. She's a nurse practitioner. So she talks and gives little tips every week, and every week is a different tip.
Okay.
So it's kind of an ongoing educational process.
No,
So we give the running tips, like here's how your body might feel, here's what to kind of look out for at this time, here's how to dress for the weather, all that kind of stuff. But then also nutritional tips. So how much water is enough water, and what do you need to drink to do a 5K or a 10K, and what are the differences there? And then, she's willing to answer, nutritional questions
And I
as
understand
well.
that you started last night. George, are you helping out too? Were you doing some running?
Yeah. Actually, it's really kind of kick-started my running program back again, too.
Well, you used to be a big runner way back.
Yeah. I've run a few marathons, and I've got a decent time. But, we all age, and, and as Kristen said, running is hard on the body, it's called gravity, and so I use all of the services that are associated with this, and I get motivated myself through everybody else running.
Now, you had your first time. You had 100 people came the first night. How many were novices? How many have run before? Did you get a sense of
What do you think, about 3/4?
I would say 3/4.
Novices, yeah.
Are people that really haven't? Will the Turkey Trot be their very first race they've ever run, or they just haven't ran in several years? Or?
It's a combination.
Okay.
Yeah, so there are people, and then there are people, a couple of people that I know that are doing it that just said another family member was, getting really involved in, different running events, and so they thought, well, gee, maybe I should start to get trained and figure out how to do that. So, they may have done something 15, 20 years ago, and now they're back doing it. There's a gentleman who's a teacher at Shen, and so he's doing the Couch to 5K program, and his son is doing the 10K program.
Okay.
So, they're coming together and kind of, starting the family tradition a little bit earlier in the season.
Well, as you know, you're a trainer. This is sort of related, but I just wanted to ask you, what's the biggest obstacle of not just getting people to run, but just to exercise in general? Is there one or two things that really hold people?
I think most people say it's time.
Yeah.
And having the time to do it. Everyone says, oh, I don't have time. I can't. I've got a busy schedule, and it's carving out that time. But I think when you have a group and you put it on the schedule, I'm going 6 o'clock Monday night, Prospect Park, 8:30 Saturday morning, Prospect Park. Then that becomes, those are 2 set times now in your schedule that you can go. And we say for the Couch to 5K, 1 more day in there, 1 more workout is all you have to carve out. So once you can kind of commit that time and carve that time out, then it starts to become part of your lifestyle. So it becomes much easier because the prioritization gets, it goes up a little bit higher on it.
There's also on the Troy Turkey Trot Training Challenge webpage, there's a virtual plan you can follow if you can't actually go to Prospect Park. You had over almost 300 people last year, did it? Is that what it said here?
Yeah, so again, a lot of people can't come on Monday nights. They work late on Monday nights.
But this will help them follow
the plan.
So
it helps them follow the plan, right.
Good.
And they'll get tips along the way. But I would say that the camaraderie of the group is huge, because when you're struggling, and we told people on Monday night, There's going to be a point, and in a 5K, it's a 3.1 mile race. It could be at mile 1. That is the most challenging thing you've ever done. And getting past that mile in your mind and physically is an incredible challenge. For other people, it could be 2 miles. Whatever it is, everybody has those points. In a marathon, it could be mile 18, mile 20, mile 22. But no matter what distance the race, you have that point where it gets really hard to get by that. When you've got other people around you who are either feeling really good and encouraging you, or who sometimes are suffering with you, it's like, okay, I can do this. If you can do this, I can do this. Let's do it together. And we see a lot of that.
I've seen many groups when I go out. I live near the crossings here in Colonie, and I see groups training, and you're right, there is a lot of camaraderie and encouraging of each other. But I have a question. I see a lot of groups using the crossings very flat. What was the reaction? You're in Prospect Park. It's a little bit hilly there.
Well, so we have a kind of a set plan of how we start our workouts.
But that should help for the turkey trot, which is flat.
Well, and it's going to help for anybody's training, right? And one gal, she did say to me, she said, this is a lot harder than being on the treadmill inside. And I said to her, well, what incline do you put your treadmill on? She said, I didn't know there was an incline. So it is, but that's real life, right? You're going to walk up hills when you're going shopping, so having some hills. But we do a functional warm-up to get started, so it's things to get the blood flowing and everything. But we were nice to everybody because George said, let's walk up the hill, because there is a hill right as you start. But it's nice, it's up and down, so when you go up, you get to go down too. So they get that chance to kind of learn how it feels to go up and down, and it's great.
It's also good for your muscles too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because when you're running on the flats, you're basically using your quadriceps. When you're running on the hills, you're basically using the hamstrings. If you're doing both, then you're activating both sides of your leg, your front and the back, which is really good for your legs. They like that. They like that confusion.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, now the turkey trot will be flat. There's been some changes in the course. We had a streak there where we went up, and it wasn't an up and back like it was for the first 40 years probably.
Right.
And then there was a small hill involved that I heard you tell us how you made the changes. You took a survey or something, and then we're going back to the traditional up and down, and we're going to be ending at the old site of City Hall, where they used to end for
Monument
50
Square,
years or whatever. So tell us about some of the main changes and some of the reasons behind.
Yeah, well, we did do a survey. We surveyed our runners, and we got a really good response. And one of the comments that we heard was, take out that Mount Olympus hill. Well,
You're making it sound like a mountain, though. It's really...
well, it's a hill, but, like I said, a lot of as Kristen said, a lot of these people don't run.
Okay.
So when they see this, they go, whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, it scares them, And so... in trying to, accommodate that, we decided, and everybody said, well, we love the out and back course because, you can see who's ahead of you, you can see who's behind you when you turn the corner and come back. So we decided that that's what we would do, is we would
that's another time, you can't see everyone that morning. And when I've run for since 1975, I see people and they're running,
exactly.
Social hour, exactly.
Yeah. And so you know who you want to catch.
Yes.
I mean, somebody might be right in front of you, and they turn the corner and you see them, and you're about to turn the corner. You say, "Oh, whoa, look, they're right there. I can catch them." There's a lot of those individual little battles that go on in there. Personally.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, which is a lot of fun.
And now we have another change is the times changed this year?
Yes, a little bit. 10K is going first at 8 a.m.
Okay.
And then the 5K will go at 10 a.m.
It's at 10 o'clock, okay.
10 o'clock, right. Where before I think it started at 9:45.
Okay.
So it's like 15 minutes. But we want to get the kids in there. We have a grade school mile, and we have a turkey walk. So we put them in between the 10K and the 5K.
And that's on, it's troyturkeytrot.com. By the time this is on, everything will be there, and you can register and do all that stuff.
Definitely.
And the 10K, is it the championship race for the...
It will be.
Adirondack? What's the Adirondack?
USA Track and Field Adirondack Region.
So
the regional championship.
So if anyone watching wants to go watch, you're going to be seeing excellent nationally ranked runners in this, probably?
Regionally ranked.
Or regionally ranked?
Yes.
And who are some of the runners that'll be in that? Do you know?
All of them.
Oh, okay. Well,
You know, and you know why? We have a 10, USA Track and Field has a 10 series program. They call it their Grand Prix Road Race Series.
Okay.
It starts in January and it ends at the Turkey Trot.
Oh,
And you
okay.
get points for being at each one of these. And there's prize money associated with it and you know, running gear and stuff like
Okay.
that. So everybody's going to go because this is the finale.
Okay.
This is the ending event of the Grand Prix.
Okay, and then
on top of it being the 10K.
and then the winner of the 10K usually does it, what, like 31 minutes? That's pretty...
Yeah, right around there. Pretty
Now,
fast, yeah.
Now, another big change, because we have so many, last year in the 5K, there was what, 5,200 runners?
There were, yes, 5,700 registrants, 5,200 finishers.
So you were telling me the beginning is going to be a little staggered, or how's the beginning going to work? Because it
Yes.
seems to be a little bottleneck in there.
Well, we don't want there to be a bottleneck out on the course.
Okay.
The bad thing about that, having a bottleneck on the course, is that you have to slow down so you break your stride. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the bottleneck at the start before they cross the start mat. So it's just going to take a little bit more time for everybody to get across the start. But once they do, they won't have to slow down on the course.
So you may have to wait a minute or two if you're in the...
That's right.
Okay.
You know, last year it took about 5 to 6 minutes for the last runner to cross the start line at the start. And that road was 65 feet wide. Well, we're going to narrow it down to 26 feet.
Okay.
So it's probably going to take 10 to 15 minutes for the last runner at the start to cross the start line. But it doesn't matter because we have chip timing.
Okay, the time doesn't...
They're going to get a net time
Right.
from the time they step on the start line to the time they step on the start mat. They will be timed. That's the time they're going to see on their results.
And now is the starting line the same as the last couple?
It's going to be at 4th Street, yeah.
By the post office, the same?
Yes.
I mean, that whole...
Yes.
You know, that
right.
whole...
Right.
Well, if you're going to do it this way, we'll be going back pretty far.
Remember, we're going to, we're going to, what did I say, bring them in.
Yeah, so you funnel and then come
We're going
wider.
to funnel them in
only
only 100 feet before the start line.
I see.
So we're still going to be able to use the 45-foot roadway to line everybody up. I don't think we're going to go much past Broadway.
Okay, so are you expecting a...
Fulton and Broadway. Fulton is the start. Broadway is kind of where we want to get everybody in because our sound system, we want everybody to hear what the announcements are, and it doesn't go much past Broadway.
Now, what's your sense? You're going to have another record-breaking year? Or do you...
I think so, yeah.
It is a big day. Now,
Uh,
Kristen, are you going to be running in the...
Absolutely.
Okay.
And one of the things I would say, too, that makes the Troy Turkey Trot so much fun is that it is a big race, but it's well run. So when you have a lot of people there, there's just all that energy. The fact that there's the kids' races and the walk as well, you know, it is fun. There's tons of energy around it.
I know there's a lot of people, excuse me, a lot of people dress up and have costumes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or
That's fun.
run in groups with like a theme. And there's always that group from the ale house that runs up. They stop there. It's a whole other race.
Yeah. Well, and it makes it fun, right? Because
Yes.
everybody's sitting outside the pub drinking it, you know, 10 o'clock in the morning, cheering everyone on. You know, so it is that fun, festive, you know, atmosphere.
It's a good day.
Yeah, and the advantage of people participating in the training challenge to get ready for it is we'll give them all the little tips about how do you line up and where are things going to go, and you know, and the whole chip timing thing is almost critical for people to understand.
Yeah.
So as a newbie runner, you don't have to go line up right at the front. You know, you can go find someone to take your picture, and we'll put you in the paper anyway. But you know, line up according to how fast you really think you're going to go, because you're going to be in the right spot then.
Now, the people that you
so.
worked with, the 100 that signed up, did they seem enthusiastic? Are they psyched for the next 10 weeks of training?
Well, and that's one thing we say, don't look ahead too
Yeah.
far. You know, there are people that want to see, I want to see exactly what we're going to do and where. But for the most part, it's like, look at this week, because you get the same workout 3 times in a row for the first week. And so, you know, once you conquer that, then we go a little bit longer on things. So it's a run-walk program. So, you know, they'll start running a little bit longer each week, a little bit longer, a little bit longer. But you do that workout enough times that by Saturday, this is 90 seconds. I can run 90 seconds. Maybe Monday that was a challenge.
Yeah.
And so,
But then if they look
just
at
keep
week 7
progressing.
and they see they're running 3
Yeah,
miles without
exactly.
stopping, they might get a little bit, nervous about that.
Now, do they keep a log or something? Or they just?
They get an email that says, here's what your workout is. If people want to do that, they certainly can. One thing that we found right away, which is pretty interesting with people who are, just starting, how far we go?
Okay.
How far was that? Was it a mile? Was it a mile and a half? So they do care, right?
Yeah.
It's not,
yeah.
But I always say to people at the beginning, just go on the time. It doesn't matter how far we
Yeah.
go. We're going to get you to that distance, but you don't have to worry about that right up front. Go the distance. And another thing we talk to everybody about too is the fact that when you're towards the back and maybe you are at that 12 or 13 minute pace, you're working just as hard as that person out in front. Mm-hmm. You're expending more energy because you're on that course longer. It's that, we love those people because of what they're putting into it and the fact they're trying. And there have been people a couple of the women who've gone through the Freihofers challenge and they're coming back. I mean, one gal, she did 50 minutes in her first Freihofers. Then she dropped it down to 40. Then she dropped it down to 32. I mean, what's she going to do? Because
5K,
she's going through these,
Yeah.
And she just keeps coming back for the challenge, So it's kind of fun because when you start off for 50 minutes for a 5K, chances are you can really PR the next time.
Yeah.
And so but that's a great feeling for people who thought, I was one of those people who couldn't run a mile in gym. And we have a lot of those.
Right.
I mean, they get to that mile point and it's like, woohoo, I did it.
Yeah.
And part of your part of the training is they run with you guys on Monday and Saturday, and they're encouraged to do a run on their own during the week.
Right.
And is there a distance, or they just?
They get the workout.
Okay.
Yep, they
We
get the
send them
workout
the
in email.
workout. They get a tip with that.
Okay, everybody's.
It's either one of the tips. It's either the nutrition tip, the injury prevention tip, and the strength. We have a new woman with us, Becky Weymouth from Rock Your Fitness, and she's our strength and flexibility expert.
Okay.
So she has these tips that are video tips, and you click on it, and it shows you exactly how to do the stretch and how to do the strength workout. Because you do your squats and you do the stuff you need to strengthen your muscles, you're going to be a much better runner. It's going to be a lot easier for you to run.
Now, when you said you've done this before for Freihofers, do most people stick with it? Out of the 400, when you did it before?
Well, what's interesting, and as you might expect, right?
I'm sure there'll be a
at the
few
very
drop-off.
beginning, right? You get lots of people at the very beginning, and then you get the people who get extremely engaged, and they are just there. They're there early. They stay after. They ask all kinds of questions. They're very, very engaged in the process and the group. And then you have people who something happens, they get injured, so they start emailing. Well, can I continue? Can I do this? And so we give them that feedback. Yes, do it this way instead. And then things get in the way, right? So maybe they can't come. But what's interesting is they tend to stick with the program because they end up doing the event and finishing.
Good.
So even if they're not with us for the
80%
workout,
that signed up for the Couch to 5K Freihofers Couch to 5K training challenge finished the race.
80%.
80%
of the group that you worked with.
of the 400 women.
That's pretty high.
That's huge.
Okay.
So that's why after the first year we added the virtual program, because we knew this was happening. So they've been doing the virtual program on their own, and they ended up finishing the race.
I think sometimes people just need some encouragement.
Yeah.
So.
I do too.
or if you're getting an email that says here's what you're supposed to do today, it's kind of like, oh, I can't ignore that. Like, oh, all right, I'll go out and do it.
Well,
And the fun thing too with the training challenge, everybody gets a technical shirt.
oh, okay.
So then they get to go and advertise what they're doing.
Yeah.
So
Little badge of honor.
now back to the Turkey Trot, though, George. You're saying the ending this year is back to the old City Hall site,
Yeah, it's going to be at Monument Square.
Monument
yes.
Square. Okay.
Yeah.
And
The
now,
City Hall isn't there.
Oh, that's right. Well, I meant the old. The old
They took it down.
That's right. That's right. Well, are there any other changes I haven't covered? I think we want to go over the website. It's troyturkeytrot.com. You'll be able to register. You'll be able to see when all the times. There's like 6 events, or wait, there's
4 events.
5K, 10K, grade school mile and the walk.
And the turkey walk.
And then I know you have a lot of categories for what you have mother, daughter,
Yeah.
father. Or
We have 8 categories.
8 different categories.
For
Okay.
family. We call them family teams.
Okay.
Mother, daughter, sister, sister, father, son, father, daughter, brother, brother, sister, sister. You know,
got all that.
you get the idea.
Cat, dog.
Now, is there any?
One of the things I did want to say is this event is going to be a benefit for the regional food bank again this year. So you can bring a non-perishable food item with you to the event.
And I saw last year.
And then you can donate to them. Last year we raised about $10,000 for the regional food bank, which is a really important organization, and I'd like to try to double that this year.
Okay.
So.
Now, are there any other parking? So let's talk a little bit about parking.
Yeah, parking's pretty good. There's nobody downtown. You know, those people that are not from Troy have left because they're with their families other places. So virtually everybody's out of the downtown. So you have all of the parking garages and parking up on the hill, up in the RPI area is really good. A lot of people go up on the hill and then they walk down, you know.
Okay.
Remember, you got 3 bridges coming into Troy.
That's right.
Now, the Green Island Bridge will be closed after 8 o'clock. So just, you know, that'll cut it down to 2 after 8. But those people that are running the 10K up until 10 minutes, 5 minutes to 8, they'll be able to come over the Green Island Bridge.
Very good. And let's see, packet pickup. Is that going to be in the mall?
Yeah.
The atrium, I mean?
Yeah, it's going to be in the atrium. It's going to start on that Saturday before, it'll be the first one, and then the Wednesday before.
And you can just go anytime during the day, or is it?
No, on Saturday it's going to be from 2 to 7.
Okay.
And then on Wednesday it's going to be from like noon until 8 p.m., 7 p.m. But all that will be on the website.
Okay. And I know you're always running around because you have to organize this, but will you be able to run it one of these years while you're directing it?
Well, you know, that was a good thing. When you said I took a hiatus, it was really good because I ran it both those years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was in 2010, 2011.
Okay.
The city ran it themselves, and I got to run it. It was the greatest thing. I really
You hadn't run it
enjoyed
in, what,
I had
15
it run it, yeah.
years? Okay.
Yeah, because I still have my personal best for 10K on that course.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long ago was that, or should I ask?
It was 1981.
Okay. I think my
It
personal.
wasn't too long ago.
I think my personal best was also in the 10K around 1981 or 82.
Yeah.
I'm down to the 5K.
Well, I like that. Yeah, me too. Well, that's what I run too. And I liked Mount Olympus.
Yeah, so did
Because I ran it that year they had Mount Olympus in there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
A hill can be good for you.
Hills are very good for you because as I said, and then Kristen knows, it changes the muscles work in your legs. And your muscles need that. Okay. You know, they need to, in order to stay balanced, they need to get a total workout, the whole leg.
I know. As I was approaching it that first time they did it, you could hear people 3 blocks away. You could hear them moaning already.
You couldn't you? It was so funny because we came around the corner, remember?
Yeah.
And before you could actually see the hill, you could hear all these moans and groans.
Except for the people who wear headphones, which they really shouldn't for safety reasons. And then they would come on the hill and go, oh, and they
I think
would really cry.
it was passed down through. It must have went all the way back through the crowd.
Yeah, it's coming.
So
Yeah, right.
anyway, all right. So all the information is on TroyTurkeyTrot.com. The Troy Turkey Trot Training Challenge has its own webpage.
Right.
TT Challenge. TTTrainingchallenge.com.
And people can still sign up to October 6th. It's Monday nights at Prospect Park in Troy, 6 p.m. Saturday mornings, it says 8:20 or whatever, 8:20.
We want to get them
Be on
there.
time for 8:30
Well,
start.
because we do some announcements.
Oh, okay.
So if they want to hear the announcements, they should come at 8.
And now with the people doing the challenge, you said they have their own shirt. How will we recognize them on the morning? What's the shirt?
Well, so I always suggest to people, don't wear the race day shirt.
Yeah.
Because, number one, I think bad luck. Number two, how is your family ever going to pick you out, right? Because everybody wears it. So they can wear their training challenge.
Okay.
It'll look something like that.
And then the shirt this year is that new material that the last 2 years? Okay.
It'll be a technical shirt.
A what?
A technical shirt.
Technical shirt.
Yeah, well, they do something with the fabrics to the fibers
Okay.
to wick away the sweat that's on your body. So it wicks it from, the fabric, the fibers that are touching your skin to an outside layer where the wind and the sun evaporated quickly. That's a good,
Instead of cotton, cotton gets just wet and stays
cotton
wet.
gets wet and stays wet. These dry out. I mean,
Okay.
after you stop running, you could be walking around doing refreshments and stuff, and next thing you know, your shirt's all dry.
Well, I'm still not used to the new.
That's why they call it technical.
I'm still not used to the new shirts because I have 35 of the cotton ones. Well, thanks for coming
I do
again,
too.
George and Kristen.
You're welcome,
Yes.
Joe.
And we will see you.
It's our pleasure.
George will be down there with what? You'll have the bullhorn running around. Kristen,
Well,
you'll be running
we
with your group?
graduated to a sound system now,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Think of the old days.
but I will have a radio.
Still running around.
Okay, very good. Well, we'll see you at the Turkey Trot, Kristen.
Yes. Thank you.
We'll see you too, and we will see you next time.